Going on, YouTube? Hope everyone's doing all right. Today is Sunday, August 1st, actually, 2021. I didn't get as far as I wanted to on this guy. I know I said next video I was gonna, hopefully have it getting mocked up in the car and, trying to get things settled out, but just hasn't worked out that way. Just been busy. Kind of trying to finish up my bathroom remodel right now. So I've been kind of splitting my time between being out here and then being out there and just kind of waiting on parts and, ordering what I need when I need it, and just stuff like that. Just that's how it goes. But I know it's been a while. I figured I'd give y'all a kind of a quick update since my last video. I guess we'll start here on the engine side. You guys can see I got my bell housing on there, got it all mounted up, got the clutch mounted, pressure plate, flywheel. That's all back up on the car, the motor. If you remember, I initially installed the clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel, and I was going to try and put my bell housing on after and just get it mounted up later, but it ended up being out of spec. I think if you guys saw my last video, I ended up taking a bunch of measurements on this this plate. So this is kind of a precision machine plate that you use to find the location of your bell housing relative to the crankshaft. And you can see all the measurements I've taken on this guy, but you can see on the 3 o'clock position, I ended up with a positive 1,000th. 6 o'clock I had positive 3,000ths, and then 9 o'clock I had positive 2,000ths. You can see I circled them there, and then I started at 0 at 12 o'clock, and it sits on the, you can see it says top/back underneath that tape, but it sits on the bell housing. It sits on the bell housing just like that, and then as you rotate the crank, the dial indicator just shows you where your bell housing is relative to the crankshaft. And like I said, acceptable limit is 5 thousandths in any direction. So the way this would end up working out is kind of, if this is the back of your motor, you're just taking measurements to see, like, is your bell housing off this way? Is your bell housing off this way, or down, or up, or where, really just where is it in relation to the input shaft and crankshaft. This is where your pilot bearing is going to ride on your input shaft of the transmission. This is obviously the input shaft. You can see it spins, and it's got spline teeth right here. Crazy to think that these little splines are enough to hold 700 pound-feet of torque, but that's all you need. Probably hardened steel. But anyway, this is my throwout bearing. You can see this guy just spins right here, and it's hydraulic. You can obviously see the lines here. That's fluid in, and that's to your bleeder. But when you press the clutch in, this guy pushes out. It's a little hard to see, but this spinning disc pushes out, and it'll end up pushing these fingers on the pressure plate, and they all get pushed in, and it releases the clutch. So pretty cool. And then you can see my pilot bearing down in there. It's a little hard to see, but down in there is the pilot bearing. In the middle is my clutch plate, and then you can see the fingers of the pressure plate, and that pressure plate sandwiches the clutch between the disc and between the flywheel and the pressure plate. So not super complicated, but tolerance is important. Like I said in my last video, you don't want to do all this work just to burn up your expensive trans. But I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm kind of wiggling the input shaft here, but not a lot of allowable end play, or allowable what's the word I'm looking for. It has to be directly in line. You can only have this input shaft 5 thousandths off in either direction, so that's why it's important. So I've been working on that. I took my measurements for the throw out bearing, and I think I had to order a new one. I did order, this is a slip-on style bearing. Let me see, I can't pull it off with one hand here, but all it does is slip on over this plate right here. So you can see this red line, this red piece is that's all the same piece, and then this bearing just slips over that. It's got some O-rings that hang on, and then you can adjust it in and out to make up clearance between the pressure plate and the face of the throw up bearing. So you can see it moving in and out here. But based on the measurements that I took between this transmission face here and the front of the throw out bearing face, and the distance between this front bell housing face and the clutch fingers, I don't have enough clearance. So I ended up calling Jegs and ordering a bolt-on style, which should bring the face of the throw out bearing, you know, from here, hopefully back into here somewhere. So I'll be able to, you know, adjust clearance with shims as needed, as opposed to this like spin style. But I guess it's important because as the clutch wears, these fingers, they start to push out. And if you don't have the right clearance, your throw out bearing is going to be riding on these all the time, and there's going to be some pressure on here, and you might have your clutch start slipping, and it's just going to be not good. So I called them, I think yesterday or Thursday morning, and tried to get that on order and get that in the mail. So hopefully I'll get the bolt-on style here soon, and can get my measurements right, and then shim as needed, and then get this trans and engine mated up and be in good shape there. As far as inside the engine bay, haven't done a whole lot. Only thing I did do was hit my head there. Only thing I did do was replace this drag link. So this has the tie rod ends on both sides, and then it's got basically like a idler arm, and then that's your there's a name for this. All right, let me show you in here. So this arm connects to the gearbox. Let me see if I can get you some better lighting. Can't see very well. Yeah, that might help. But you can see that's your, I forget what they call it. Maybe a pivot arm, not sure, but it's connected to the gearbox. This gearbox system is similar to like half-ton trucks and just trucks in general. It basically has a steering gearbox and a drag link with tie rod ends on the outside. A lot of newer cars have electric power steering, electric rack and pinion power steering. This has a steering gearbox. So my 96 F-150 out there has a power steering gearbox with a drag link. So this technology is pretty old, and it's definitely going to be a challenge when I'm going to like route the exhaust, because you got to imagine the engine's going to be right here, and then you're going to have to basically sneak around this steering input shaft, we'll call it. So that'll be tricky, have to work that out. But anyway, I did replace it, new drag link, new tie rods. Hopefully it tightens up the steering, because it had a little end play in the steering when I was driving it before I took the engine out, so hopefully it'll tighten that up. So we'll see. I don't remember if I showed you guys this or not, but I did end up getting the hydraulic line for the throw out bearing routed. So I ended up just putting a hole in my firewall, and I put some sleeve around it and a grommet. So hopefully won't have any issues with that. It's just a dash 4 braided line, nothing too crazy. Let me grab a light here. Sorry guys, I got stuff everywhere. Oh buddy, there we go. I don't remember if I showed you guys this in the last video or not, but I did get my pedal assembly back in the car, so that's great news. My that line that comes out underneath in the firewall, that line that feeds the hydraulic sleeve, is right there. You can see it. I just had to cut the carpet and route it down, and then I zip tied it to the emergency brake cable. So that's all set up. Obviously emergency brake, clutch pedal, I got that all tied in together, and I got it routed through the firewall. Brakes are good. I got my new Bowden cable up there, you guys can see, hopefully. See it up there where I knocked out some of the firewall. You can see I got it mounted up there. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear the cable moving on the engine bay side. But yeah, that's all done. Like I said, this dash 4 clutch line goes right through here, and then it basically goes right into the trans tunnel, a little bit higher than the exhaust. I didn't really want the clutch line getting nuked by the exhaust. You know, it's going to be the exhaust gets pretty hot. I didn't want it melting or nothing. So it came out. I tried to get it pretty close to the trans. You can see it right here. Hopefully the bell housing can be sitting. Oh, sorry guys. Hopefully the bell housing will be sitting kind of like right here. So that's kind of my plan. Only other thing I've been working on, like I said, I've been spending a lot of my time getting this bell housing lined up and mounted. Only other thing I've been working on was the transmission cross member. You can see here, this is the T56 engine mount. I'm using these inside bolt holes right here, and then this is actually the factory BMW cross member. So I just got it bolted up just to see like where it's gonna live. I'm hoping I can use this. If I can, that'd be awesome. You can see there's kind of some interference here between the trans mount and the cross member, so I might get the grinder out and try and clearance that some, so the trans isn't like rocking on the actual case, it's rocking on the bushing. That's the whole point of them. This guy's polyurethane, so it's pretty stiff, but that's the whole point of bushings, is to take a vibration and you know, not have things touching directly on the casing, transmission case. So yeah guys, that's really all I've been up to. I'm going to take some more measurements for this throw-out bearing just to make sure. This one will not work. Like I said, I'm pretty confident it won't. There's just not enough room. Once I get my bolt-on style, I'll take this off and send it back, and hopefully I can get everything mounted up. And then after that, I'm going to be trying to get it in the car. So it's kind of where I'm at for right now, guys. My plan is to kind of combine engine and trans, and then get it fitted into the car, and then hopefully bolt up the trans, and then build my motor mounts off of that and try and get my angles right. And then I can measure for my drive shaft and then hopefully get that adapted. So in the meanwhile, I got a lot to do. I could focus on wiring up that terminator system and getting it powered up and integrated into the current harness. That's on my to-do list, but I only got so much time, guys. I split my time between a lot of different things, so I'm working on it as I go. Another thing I need to get ordered is a engine oil pan. This guy's probably gonna be way too low. I was looking on Jegs and Amazon, and they got like just a welded up, like a TIG welded street strip LS SWAP pan, and I think it kind of comes like down here and flattens off kind of like right here in this section, and then like gets pushed out, so you still have a good amount of fluid in there. But I got to get that ordered so I can at least check and see how it's going to fit. And I need to get in here with the tape measure to see if I can actually fit it in here and where it's going to live in between the engine subframe and the trans cross member and all that other good stuff. So kind of on my to-do list, but yeah, I figured I'd just give you all a quick update on what's been going on. So that's it for now. I guess I'll keep you all updated. That throwout bearing, I guess, is supposed to be coming next Thursday. So hopefully after that time, maybe I'll have a video for you guys next weekend. So that's it for now. And yeah, take care.